What's up, guys? Hold on 1 second. I have not done a live in forever. I really did not even tell anybody I was doing this live. I just did it randomly because I get tired of pre-recording videos and it's just me talking to a camera, which a live is kind of like that. But really quick, I am on here to discuss the whole Brittany Renner and the situation with the water bottle and the fan, her feeling disrespected at Rolling Loud. This just recently took place. Okay. So a lot of people have already done videos on this, and I was trying to avoid speaking out on it. I don't know why, but I'm like, you know what? Before JR and I go live, which definitely join that live, you can see the stream for that in my community tab and on JR Wisdom's page for Let's Talk About. All right, that is actually in a few minutes. We will be going over that. But really quick, the whole Brittany Renner and the water bottle and everything like that. First, I'm going to say, ladies, do not let her hype you up, okay? Do not get the big head and think that that's what you were about to be on, right? Because there are several factors that were at play that you will not have in your defense, okay? First of all, public setting, right? Security everywhere, cameras everywhere. You have a fence, you have security guards. She had her homegirls, which were of a certain build and stature, also backing her up, okay, that were behind her. And obviously, I was not there. I do not know the whole thing, right? But speaking from experience, right, I am a hothead. I have gotten into it with people, and I hate to say this, I've even gotten into it with a referee at a kid's game. And no, normally I am not that parent, and it had nothing to do with my child, but I thought somebody was going to get injured. But even as a woman, when I challenged that referee, a male referee, after a game, right, there were other dads in place. So there were, male figures in place who had my back. But I can't do that in a normal situation, because when I went to do that and I said something to him and he felt disrespected by what I said, so he squared up on me. And other parents, women and fathers, were like, wait a minute, like standing right there. But even in that instance, I'm like, I am putting everybody around me in danger. And he even told me, he was like, meet me in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? So stuff can get real really quick. So in this situation, you have a girl, right? And I'm not going to speak on what she does in her personal life or whatever. And that's another thing, because ladies, you are not her. Most of you all will not have kids by a professional athlete and then be able to take that platform, no matter how she got there, and use it for hosting gigs and all of that. So you cannot move the way she moves. You cannot take marriage advice from her. You cannot take advice necessarily about submission. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with her, but just realize you are not her. And if you were out here, right? If you were out here getting in a man's face, you have to be ready for the consequences. You're not going to have bodyguards. You may not have a bunch of people, recording it. You're going to get you and your homegirls messed up. And I am not condoning violence or anything like that. But if you poke the bear, if you get in a man's face and rah, 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 and all this kind of stuff, oh, hello, and all this kind of stuff, you have to be willing to deal with the consequences. And that just goes to show that women, I'm not saying that you can't stick up for yourselves, but a lot of us bring a lot of heat to situations, and you put everybody else around you in danger. So some of you guys might think this is cute and think it's funny, but when you're out with your girls, if you're in the club, if you're in a parking lot, if you're in a store, if you're in a gas station, you're going to do that to the wrong man. So wait a minute, like I have my water bottle over here. Keep your water bottles to yourself. Keep your water bottles to yourself. Keep your egos to yourself. And that's really what this is about, right? Nowadays, you have a lot of women who feel that they can go toe-to-toe with a man and they can challenge a man. And as soon as the man raises his voice or bucks at you, that it's like, oh my gosh. And in this situation, she says she felt disrespected, right? You also put yourself on a platform to be disrespected by fans. Every fan is not going to love you. Some people do want to go viral. You heard him yelling out his business and everything. So you are putting yourself on a pedestal, wide open to be critiqued, right? And you can't just pop off and jump off when they say something that you don't like, because you put yourself out there for that. But to get in his face, sticking your tongue out, taunting him and all of that, you think that's cute, and it's not cute. So what I'm telling you, ladies, that when you're seeing, when you're watching this, and I've read a lot of comments from other people on YouTube that have done reviews. I looked at Instagram, I looked at TikTok, I looked at Facebook, Twitter. Some of you guys were like, he felt, he disrespected her. A man shouldn't do that, and a man shouldn't do this. Her girls were calling him a B. She threw that water all in his face. She should have been able to handle herself, right? Because whether she's a D-list celebrity or somebody thinks she's a celebrity at all, influencer or whatever, you are on a certain level that you shouldn't even have to engage in anything like that, right? She could have made it friendly. She could have rolled her eyes, whatever. But obviously you do care. He said, I love PJ. And obviously that triggered her, right? Maybe she was just in the moment. Maybe it was liquor that got to her, but she was triggered. A lot of ladies get on these platforms. They act like they're good. And, I'm going to, take pictures and do all this stuff. And they fake like their personal lives are not still a mess or that they don't have feelings. And they do underneath all of that, because she wouldn't have acted out like that if she wasn't bothered, right? If she still wasn't hurt in some way. And that's just my point, my point of view. But ladies, I am telling you all, if you don't want the smoke, keep your egos in line. Wait, is it time for my stream yet? Okay, yeah. Keep your egos in line. It was just, there was nothing classy about that. I saw somebody said that there was, nothing classy about it. Absolutely. But when she was on her face, sticking her tongue out and doing all of that, none of that was classy, right? Ladies, we can't do that. You cannot challenge a man. Okay. And I am not saying that if you get in a man's face, that gives him a right to do whatever. But let's just be honest, right? Everybody has a lot going on. You might get in the wrong person's face. And if you throw a water bottle or splash water in their face or call a man out his name or whatever you want to do, and you're ready, you better be ready to either throw them hands or pull it. I don't even think people really fight anymore. I'm in St. Louis, so people, don't do that. There are a lot of situations where I have known females, right? And I might not have personally known them, but I've known guys that have been in places where girls got into it. They tried to break it up. And then the other girls called their boys or whatever, and it ends up being a shootout over spilt drinks, over somebody looked at me, somebody stepped on my shoes. So be aware of what you are doing. Keep yourself in check. At the end of the day, you're still a woman. You don't have to like what certain guys say and do. But I always say this, as long as he's not putting his hands on you, right? He didn't come up to her. He had a whole barricade and a bunch of people that were stopping him. He didn't march down on her friends. He wasn't following her. He wasn't reaching out and trying to grope on her and touch her. But she felt, because she's sitting up here, that she could get in a man's face and nothing was going to happen. She said, I felt disrespected. Okay, sir. Now all of a sudden women are always feeling disrespected, by men. And I get it. But still, there is a time and a place for that, okay? Let me go to some of these comments really quick. So somebody said, play victim time. She could have walked away. She seems to exclude classlessness whenever the cameras are rolling. Obviously, right? Because she does think that she's this huge celebrity, which is totally fine for a moment. Whatever money she's making, whatever job she's getting, bravo to her, right? She has a kid to take care of. However she wants to get about it, I'm not here to do that. But just know that, ladies, you all cannot move the way she moves. You are not her. You can't move away the way a lot of these people move because you won't have anybody there to defend you. And then it'll be this huge movement talking about women are getting attacked. Men are always going after women. You see how he yelled at her. You see how he, threw something at her or whatever. And completely ignoring the fact that you are in his face going, poking. You're bound to get something turned against you. All right. Gail said she is a perfect example of women who know better, but just don't care to be better. Can't save everybody. She will be her own downfall. Absolutely. And the thing is that a lot of women are taking advice from her, right? And I'm not saying that you can't, but women, right? Females, I see if you're taking advice from her, but women, she's telling you guys, like she broke down a video on what, on submission. And basically it means that a woman's life is beneath a man's. No, don't go for the hype. Don't be like, yes, she's right. And I can have a lifestyle like her, because you cannot. Okay. You cannot. That is not the norm for anybody. Even when it comes to athletes, a small percentage of them make it. You're not going to secure one. Okay. So just come on, like be respectful and remember, like, you guys, there is, how do I put it? If there is a double standard, right? There is definitely a double standard, but we cannot feel that we can hide behind the fact that we have a womb and that it excludes us and that we can act any kind of way. talk any kind of way and do anything. And that since we have a woman, since we're a woman, that we're not going to get in trouble, that we can't be held accountable. And she said she was willing to take on, any of the actions that came because she did feel disrespected. But come on, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole moment for her. And I see you all ready. And look, if I'm not with somebody, if I see you all throwing water bottles and stuff like that, that is not my battle, right? I'm not getting into it. I'm not defending anybody. That is not anything for me to have to deal with. Okay, yes, this is the same woman that says she doesn't care what people think of her, but she flips as soon as he said PJ's name. Yes, I mentioned that when I first got on the live, and I know I'm talking really fast because I have to get on with JR, and he is actually texting me right now. Okay, so she says she doesn't care, but she's still a woman. As soon as his name was mentioned, instant trigger, right? Instant trigger as soon as his name was mentioned. But she's sitting up telling you all how to move about your lives. You know what I'm saying? What submission means, a wife, all this kind of stuff, how to hold yourselves accountable. But it's showing that she still has work to do, because saying his name should not have made her get out of character like that. I mean, that is her character, but it shouldn't have made her feel the need to do what she did. Let me see. What else is going on? Sorry. Right. You never know people's mindset at that time. If you push anyone long enough, they'll eventually snap. Play it safe. Absolutely. So that was my whole point. I just didn't want to make a random video. But yes, you guys, whose fault is it with this whole Brittany Renner rolling loud? I am going to say, and I know you guys are going to be like, oh, she's pandering. She's a pick-me. I wasn't there. I didn't see the whole thing. But from what I saw, he was not at fault, right? You have to be ready for fans to heckle you, to say anything. They will say stuff about your kids. And I know that really makes me get out of pocket, right? When people used to come on my page and say stuff about our kids, that makes me want to find your IP address and be like, knock, knock, knock on your door. But stuff like this, you're putting yourself out there in every way possible. She's 100% put herself out there to be attacked and to have people, and when I say attacked, to have comments and certain things that she's not going to like. But baby, as soon as they touched on PJ, it was like, very angry woman reared her ugly head, and her homegirls were in the background, her tribe women, right? So don't think y'all can go out here and do that. I'm going to keep saying it. Do not think you all can go out here and step to a man and get in his face. So that's what I'm saying. Keep your egos and your water bottles to yourself. The ego of the woman is on the rise, right? It has been over the years, but now like our egos are out of control. And a woman with the ego is dangerous. It is dangerous, and it can cause a ton of harm to her mentally, spiritually, and physically. It goes against our nature. And I'm not saying you can't be confident as a woman. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have boundaries. I'm not saying that you should let people walk all over you, but stay in your lane. Somebody said, oh yes, Gail, you were right on it. Kodak Black should have been there to protect her. That's a whole, I'm not even getting into that. That is a whole nother thing. With that whole, with all of that. And I don't know if anybody really said, I know ladies were like, he was being disrespectful or whatever, but ladies, we're disrespectful all the time. We do stuff and we want our men to fight for us, right? And we get them in situations that don't even need to go to that level, but we're so quick to pop off, right? We're so quick to like egg people on, put our, and then start rattling off at the mouth and pop off. And then we want to hurry up and get into that victim mindset. And you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot do it. I'm telling you, there have been times that I have, because I do have a temper. I really used to, that I have got in situations and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, because I got to deal with the consequences, and I have to deal whatever comes my way. And if I put people in the harm of danger by being that woman, it's not cute. Okay. There's nothing cute about it. And that's just not how we're supposed to act. She could have walked away. Yes. All right. Okay, guys. I know that was really quick, and I know I was talking in circles or whatever, but at the end of it, I do feel that she was at fault, right? And I feel that a lot of women, and I hate to say this, but a lot of women get themselves into situations with men, right? That is our fault that we can walk away from. But because we have so many people, our culture, society, social media, and other people hyping us up and saying, like, yes, woman, set your boundaries, speak up. You know what I'm saying? Be bold, be unapologetic. Don't let anybody shit on you. Don't let anybody walk on you. Don't take nothing from a man. Da, 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 da. Then we get real tough and we feel we can go man to man, toe to toe. And you can't, because you better believe if all them people weren't there, and if security and that Fence and her big, not her big homegirls, her homies in the back, you know what I'm saying, weren't right there, that could have gone down very differently. And from the looks of it, he seemed like the type that might not have, taken it too far, even if there wasn't a fence there. But baby, you catch the right one on the wrong day, and there's going to be nothing but smoke. And I'm not going to feel sorry for you at all. So don't poke the bear. All right, it's almost 7 o'clock. JR and I are about to go live, so I have to sign off. And we're talking about natural women versus BBLs, what men prefer. And also when it comes to the whole status of a side chick, is that something that women prefer now? Do women prefer being a side chick over the main chick, or over a wife, over being a wife now because it's safe, right? Are they using like the side chick as a way to protect their heart? I feel like it's a protection mechanism, and you can be spoiled and you can play it safe. That's what a lot of them are thinking. So, yeah, let's get to it. All right, I'm signing off. Bye.